Well, we skipped the quite important part. Can you introduce yourself for the listeners? Yeah.
Well, I'm Eli from Cola River Borbles. I'm one half of it. The other half is my wife. I can't do this without her. But yeah, and I've been pulling since 1999 is when I first started doing this, and boy, I messed up some dogs on the way. And when I say messed up, I mentally, the mental, because I like to say like weight pulling is probably 75 to 80% mental, and then the rest is physical, and the mental part is so important. I got into it by about 99, and it's been a crazy road ever since. I had my own particular like weight pull bloodline for a while, and then I got into other different breeds for the fun of it. Was one of the first people to pull a Chihuahua competitively, you know,
Nice.
uh,
Yeah.
and that went pretty wild when I did that, and we've done that. I've done bull terriers, and even now I've had mixed breeds that I've done it with as well, and now we're into the South African Mastiff, the Boerboel. Kind of got out of the American Pit Bull Terrier just because we got a farm, and the pit bull just wasn't fitting the lifestyle. I'll always have an American Pit Bull Terrier, and that's really like the breed of choice, especially for weight pull. Like there's nothing that compares to it. Um, but the Boerboel was what we needed for the farm, and one day I'm out here, playing around with one, and I'm like, man, these guys are just ungodly strong for no reason at all. Like the strength that they have is shouldn't be possible, you know.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and my wife's like, well, why don't you throw one in a harness and let's just give it a shot and see what's up. And that's what we've been doing. We've just been having fun with it now with the boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, and it must be a big difference in how you train a boar bull compared to a pit bull.
Yeah, yeah. I see some differences, and I approach it very similarly, but I also have to like remind myself it's not an American Pit Bull Terrier. So there's certain things that I probably wouldn't let a pit bull do that I can let the Boerboel get away with, because the mental fortitude is a little different, right? The American Pit Bull Terrier, like the mental fortitude of that dog, is just like no other breed. Um, where the Boerboel, it might be a little bit more sensitive to some of that pressure because they're not bred for that sport. So, like the pit bull at this point now, you can find weight pulling lines that have been bred for generations now for pulling, and you can see it in the way that they carry themselves, the way they handle the pressure of moving, the amounts of weight and hanging out and being able to sit on that track and dig and dig and dig. Where I firmly believe a lot of that's genetic as well. A lot of that is being bred now specifically for that, and you can see it in the lines when winners to winners to winners to winners. You see that the Boerboel has none of that. It's a clean slate. You're starting from rock bottom, and you're just picking out dogs based on the knowledge that we already have. And so you kind of look for certain little cues like that, and you kind of approach it from that aspect. But it's definitely a little bit different, for sure. I find myself and everybody knows that anybody that's talked to me knows I'm not a big component of starting puppies early. I never really have been. But now I find myself with the Boerboel wanting to start certain things a little earlier, just because of the sheer size of them. We have a 5 month old puppy. She's almost 80 pounds now, and it's like getting them to do certain things where you're trying to adjust them to stand a certain way. Doing it now is probably more beneficial than waiting till the dog is 120 pounds and standing there like, you're not moving me this way. I'm going this way. And so I find myself now going, okay, I'm probably going to start doing certain exercises, putting the harness on a certain way and getting you to stand and start teaching you that earlier. Where normally I like to wait till later on. I like to do it all in one shot. I don't. Some of the guys, they do that early with their puppies. I like to just do that all in one shot. I like to just start and then go right into pulling. Where now I find myself going, I probably might start these guys a little bit earlier than I probably would, just because they're harder to handle when they're bigger. So I'll just do it when they're smaller. Yeah.